That's what I'm talking about as far as like peace goes, man. And it's not to say she ain't gonna go through shit, but somehow or another she manages that. And when she comes around, she still brings that energy. And if you feel that energy, she allows you to kind of to calm those nerves by you just being calm. What sense does it make for both of us to be erratic with our emotions? And what happens? It's just two kindergartners arguing, throwing tantrums.
Roll me, Mac.
What can a woman bring to the table in your frame? Peace, femininity, protection, love, nurturing. That's right off the top, as far as what a woman could add to the table, if anything, as far as what is already what I believe I have, and I would say inside of me. If anything, what she can do is show how to make that home that's already been created a more enhanced home. In a sense, like I don't believe that you need a woman to make a house a home. I believe you can make a home on your own. That's just, again, my own personal belief. But as far as her coming in there, being able to enhance it with the skills that she has, like very much unique skills of her own, just as much as I have unique skills of my own, being able to enhance that, just as I would do for her, like with the skills that I'm coming in with, I believe is going to be uniquely different. That's why she's chosen me to be her leader, if you will, in a relationship. Because I stand by the fact that there's no reason for a woman to be in a relationship, in a marriage with a man if she's going to do the leading, unless she's afraid to be alone. And that's okay. I'm not throwing shade or nothing like that. That's just me. That's just from my understanding be the reason, because you're taking on everything else as if you are leading, which is putting a lot on your shoulders when I don't believe it was made to do such. You know what I mean? Like for us to work together, this yin and yang, feminine energy and this masculine energy, working together to make almost like a united front. So yes, what a woman can bring into the frame certainly is being able to calm the storm of the world, the storm in your mind. And I believe that's exactly what us as men are our abilities can be is the same thing, like to calm the storm. When your emotions are overshadowing your logic with what's going on in the world, that masculinity can calm that energy, if that makes sense. And sometimes when the world gets too much for us as men, that nurturing, that peace, it has the same effect. You know what I'm saying? It's mirroring an effort, an efficiency. Being able to do this on a, if not a all the time level, a very consistent level of doing such. And when something is brought to you that you might not even be able to prepare for, you don't operate like a deer in headlights. Like you're able to navigate this unfortunate event with that individual. You know what I'm saying? Because you want to feel like there's that support. Otherwise, what you there for? You know what I mean? Like it's like having that person on the bench and they do nothing. Not getting in the game, just sitting on the bench. And we don't have to waste each other's time. We don't have to waste each other's time. But what I will say is that what this woman can do with her femininity brings out more of that masculine energy, that trust that she has in him to lead, to make decisions. At the same time, being able to say, hey, there's a bomb behind that door. You know what I mean? Like being able to have that feeling, because you're so calm, you're not really worried about other things. You're able to see shit that I'm not able to see. And sure, a couple times you'll have the deal with, like, you may experience a little bit of that ego, but like, hey, I got it type thing. But in the back of his mind, he knows that, yeah, she's looking out. Trust and believe that. Now, when it's excessive, that's when it's like, all right, this motherfucker don't trust me to make a decision. But the occasional is like, yo, you ain't see that right there. You know what I mean? Like that to me is, yeah, it's a form of love. It's a form of love. And then her energy. That's definitely something that I believe a woman brings to this frame, is her energy and how she carries herself, man. Is she a light when she walks in the room, or is she darkness? Do you dread seeing her when she comes in the building? I mean, essentially that's the difference for me. And you can feel that with just about anybody. I'm sure the same thing for that with women, with men. When, like, does his presence just feel like, oh shit, And if it is that, I really don't want to associate with that. At least not for too long. If I feel like, oh God, the unhappy and the unlucky are on the way, I'm not going to be around it too much longer, because I have peace on my own already. I love it. I value it a lot. So what sense does it make to bring somebody in this frame that is going to make this shit feel like a living hell? It's pointless. There's no need for that. Not when you were okay by yourself. To me, it just doesn't make any sense. Why would we hire somebody to the company when the company was running smooth, when they're going to come in and just turn this place into hell? No, we're okay. We're good over here. But yeah, that peace, man, just that feeling you get, you literally feel like you can't wait to just be in her presence again. That's what I'm talking about as far as like peace goes, man. And it's not to say she ain't gonna go through shit, but somehow or another she manages that. And when she comes around, she still brings that energy. And if you feel that energy, she allows you to kind of calm those nerves by you just being calm. What sense does it make for both of us to be erratic with our emotions? And what happens? It's just two kindergartners arguing, throwing tantrums. And no one's perfect by any means. You know what I'm saying? No one's perfect. And it's not to say that we won't get into spats or what have you, but on a consistent level, we're either going to be in kindergarten or we're going to be adults. we're going to discuss, or we're going to throw tantrums. We got to make a choice. You know, we as adults, and whatever this is, are going to have to decide whether or not we're going to have a discussion or if we're going to throw tantrums. And when you're used to not being heard, both triggered. It's kindergartners in the room. But there are times where you have to pause. Not necessarily react, but you have to pause and then respond and decide, is this beneficial? Because it's not me versus you. It's us versus problem, whatever the issue is. I have nothing personal against you. But trauma can feel like it's me versus the world. So if we're both in the room and we feel like it's me versus the world, then yeah, it's gonna feel like it's me versus you. But essentially, we're just scared kids. We're scared kids. And we're all after the same thing. Looking to be loved. Seen, heard, and loved, right? And sometimes that shit get rough. It does. It really gets rough. But when a woman, one, brings peace, femininity, nurturing, like I said, a calming energy, and then also another thing is allowing a man to speak and say his piece. It's very, very big. When you don't come from a community that allows a man to speak. You know what I'm saying? It's like what their word is and that's what their word says goes, and that's it, and nothing else. Your side of the story does not matter. When she values you enough to let you speak and actually listens, it's a goal of mine. You know what I'm saying? Like, to have that, it's a beautiful feeling. But with that peace, with that nurturing, with that femininity, with the peace, you know, the calming energy, it enables so many, I would say, so many great moments to occur, to be had between the two of you. And oftentimes it's like getting out of your own head, right? And not projecting your insecurities onto someone else. And that's another thing too, that right there, like her ability to navigate the issues that she's in control of. I don't, now, as far as like, you know, you're losing a family member, losing somebody of value to you, somebody's about to, you know, has passed away or something like that, and they're looking for that support, by all means, that's a whole another ball game. But if it's something at work, you have an issue with somebody at work, I'm there to listen to you, but then you take out your frustration that you have for the person that actually did something to you, to the person that did nothing to you but really just wanted to listen. That's where I have a problem. You know what I'm saying? Like, that shit wouldn't work in reverse. I wouldn't want you to endure that, is what I'm saying. Nobody's perfect though. That's one thing. I mean, it's one thing to keep in mind. But certain behaviors just will not be tolerated. It just won't be. And that's just how important it is to have said frame. You know what I mean? So what a woman brings to the table, you know, in that sense, as far as like, and I always say my frame, it's the peace, it's the nurturing, it's the energy, it's the protection, it's the, you know what I'm saying, like the calmness. And it's not to say that she's not going to be able to show any of her emotions, because, you know, she's human and she's woman for that matter. But when she's able to display such, she allows herself to hear, to listen to that calmness in your voice. All right, we'll figure this shit out. We'll figure out what's in our control. We'll use some parts of stoicism at the same time, matching your emotions and figuring out where that's helpful to you. And like I said, at the end of the day, I think it's like a yin and yang thing. Some of us get it effectively and some of us get it ineffectively. Just the matching. Sometimes the matching doesn't always match up. You know what I mean? So that's just something you learn, I guess, with dating. You learn what you like and what you don't like, right? So, what does a woman bring to the table in my frame? Overall, peace, femininity, nurturing, protection, calm energy. How do you manage to pull yourself back together when life throws you off course from goals? Being honest with yourself. The accountability mirror, as David Goggins puts it. Asking yourself, what about you is preventing you from getting what you're trying to obtain? And how did you get off course? What about your rituals and your standards did you not do? You know what I'm saying? Because as the saying goes, one week of neglect can cost you a year of repair. And I know I've faced this many times. And when I do face that, I don't beat myself up. Like I said, I hold myself accountable. And then I have to sit with myself, essentially detox, and figure out, all right, where are we going to go with this? Where are we going? Where's this ship headed? Do we have a plan? Or are we going in circles? Are we doing the same shit expecting a different result? And then it's about being honest with yourself. All right, are we going in circles? Is this going anywhere? So once I see that, once I feel that, once I'm honest with myself, I can then start navigating a plan of action and moving forward, trying a different route than what hasn't been as efficient. I mean, it was efficient at one point in time, but there comes a time where there's time for change. The strategies must be switched up. So, I mean, it's just pulling yourself together, really just analyzing, all right, what has worked over the last few years? What hasn't worked? How are you going to change it? Was there anything that was offered to you, information-wise, that you kept in the back of your head that you aren't implementing now? And if so, when are you going to use it? It's being honest with yourself, really, truly. Just being honest with yourself and figuring out how you're going to be better for it. So it's going back to the roots. It's remembering your why, remembering what you wrote down years ago, your those goals, and asking yourself, are you even in that realm of that path of what you're trying to do? And so when I can do that, it's like just separating yourself from everything. No distractions. Okay. All right. Do we need to remove some things? Do we need to remove some people? Do we need to remove some behaviors in ourselves? In myself, excuse me. Whatever it takes. Sacrifice is, I believe sacrifice is the way you get to goals. There has to be a form of sacrifice of desires, right? And it's like, I will equate it to trying to work out and diet properly so that you can have a certain physique. Too many cakes, too much sugar, you're not gonna outwork out a poor diet. So I believe it works the same way with like goals. Putting it all together, figuring out what's the best course of action to get to said goal. Remembering what you've done to get here. Let's not negate the fact that you've done a lot. You've done some things. You got more to do, but let's not negate the fact that you've accomplished a lot in seeing such. And it's like, and again, it's that motivation, the impact that it's had, not just on yourself, but others around, others around the world. And by the world, I mean social media, like to hear people, what I'm saying, say they can relate to this particular thing that you spoke on. That's what you do it for, inspiring a mind, sparking a brain to want to better themselves without harming anyone else, and understanding that it has nothing to do with anybody else but ourselves. I think that's really one of the joys that I get of doing this, is recognizing it's all inner homework. Nothing that I say is nothing I don't say to myself, or especially on the inside my head. That's not for anybody to take personal. I'm not personally attacking you. No, most of the time I'm talking to myself. I definitely, this is mirror talk for me. It's therapeutic too, to be able to sit here in the studio and talk, and just like speaking the first thing that comes to my mind. It helps clear the clutter in my mind. So when I get off course, I just sit with myself, really. I sit with myself for a little bit. I sit with my thoughts in silence, sometimes with now lately it's been nature sounds, Babbling Brook has been like the course of action lately. It's been peaceful though. That's been the latest rabbit hole for sound recently. It's been helpful. It's been really helpful, and very grateful for all of which that happened, so that you can learn from it. It may not make sense to you at first when things are happening, but looking back, you'll understand why you went through what you went through, even if it's not exactly what you may have wanted at the time. You thought you may have wanted at the time, but looking back, it's like, okay, I see why that happened. I'm just accepting things, amor fati. So when I get off course, I sit with my thoughts, and I hold myself accountable with the accountability mirror. I have a little bit of mirror talk, then I get back on the horse. And the only way is up. That's it. The only way is moving forward. There's no going backwards. We've come too far to go backwards, So, essentially that's the plan. So, I'm just gonna run our race and get back on the horse and do what we can to get to the next checkpoint. What's the perfect sleep setup for you? Okay, so the perfect sleep setup for me is temperature is probably about at 63. No bullshit. You're talking about some fluffy ass pillows and a decent lightweighted, it's like a thick lightweighted blanket. Not so much a heavy one. Maybe during the winter though, like when them weighted blankets and shit. But on the average, non-winter night, just a thick lightweighted blanket. There's a fan up top. The ceiling fan is on. The box fan, just because it's nostalgic for me to have a box fan. I think I will forever have a box fan. I have the newest ones and all that stuff, but something about that sound of the box fan. And then of course, some nature sound playing, or Kenny G, or the sleep mix. Really just that's it. The perfect sleep setup for me, in short. Box fan, ceiling fan, temperature is like frozen. A thick, lightweighted blanket, fluffy pillows, and then nature sounds. I'm out for the count. person who never saw healthy love learn how to love? Trial and error. Honestly, trial and error, books, lectures, YouTube courses, as I always say I'll attempt to do. Definitely a work in progress, that's what I can say. But I think it goes back to being honest again, honest with yourself. Are you even putting yourself in a position to even have that? But you can learn. You can learn from experience. Some experience comes with pain. Feeling pain, causing pain, and you just learn from it. Really, you just really learn from it, man. And understanding that both men and women love differently. And as far as us being valued, a man has to stand for something. In my opinion, he has to stand for something. Otherwise, it gets trampled over. That's one thing if I can learn anything from what I've done throughout my life, thinking that I was just letting anyone do whatever they wanted to do to me doesn't make them love me better. It doesn't. It brings on more of the shit they've been doing. But the universe is funny. It'll bring different pieces of what effective love looks like in different people, and I believe that the universe sends. I believe those are the teaching blocks. As far as what that is, man, I've seen some people love in a certain way that something this tough, they took it to the chin and still persevered. Like I said, I've seen a mother be called everything, everything but the kitchen sink from a child, and still want to show up for them. You know what I mean? And while part of that is, I think that's to show strength, like the love that a parent has for a child. At the same token, having boundaries, right? And sticking to those boundaries too. I speak on this to get back to like I said, the original topic about like how does one learn how to love. You take those experiences and you see people like I said, unknowingly projecting pain onto others, all because they were looking for love. It's like something was done to them. So it's like a match, right? Or all these leaves. That matches the pain. So I take that match and I light you with my pain. That's my pain. Bam. You know what I mean? And then you unconsciously react. You don't respond. You react and you take it personal. And then after a while, you sit in your pain and then you light another leaf. You know what I'm saying? And then we just, before you know it, the fucking forest is on fire because of pain and trying to find love. Really, is like what it was. And it's like when you're taught that love looks like this, when a person does something painful and then they say I love you, you believe that's what part of you believe that's what love is. It's not always necessarily the case. We're just in pain, man. A lot of us, man. Literally just a lot of us is sitting in pain. And we project it. Now, the thing is one, to, you gotta protect yourself. You gotta love yourself more than anybody else does. Because no one's gonna look out for you the way you look out for you. So how do you learn how to love when you've never, like, again, how do you learn healthy love when you've never seen it? I guess you go through experiences, man. And you're gonna break a few eggs in the process. Your own eggs, other people's eggs. And just trying to do it in the best way you know how. doesn't always pan out the way that you envision. But you can start with just loving yourself, man, I guess. That's probably the best way to put it. Before you try to love anybody else, it's just understanding to love yourself and what it means to love yourself, as far as like not spreading yourself too thin. Like if you was raised to be there for everybody, it's gonna be tough, man. It's a challenge for you to put yourself first, because you were raised to do the opposite. And a lot of us were raised like that, like I say, unintentionally, and some very intentionally. But I'm gonna say for the most part, it was unintentional. It was just doing what we saw being done to us. And then you get with people, you attract people that act just like the ones that taught you to care about everybody else but you. And then they'll milk the shit out of you, because they were taught that's what love means. If you love me, you'll do what I want you to do. Conditional. It's conditional love, right? And because you want that love, you chase after it. You believe love is proving something. You have to prove yourself for love. And you know what I'm saying? Like a lot of lectures that I've come across through like YouTube, like Psych2Go, School of Life, and a list of other things that have taught me, books, Brene Brown, all of that shit, it comes down to just learning how to, again, just love yourself, man. We all have our demons. That we do. We all have our demons, but I'll say what's really big is really just the boundaries, man. Really the boundaries. Boundaries within yourself. Because people can only do what you allow. Honestly. And that boils down to how much that you value yourself, how much you love yourself. And definitely sometimes it means making decisions that you have to move on without them, right? For the simple fact that it's not that I don't believe that you don't love me. I just don't think you value me the way that I value me. And yes, there's grace, but there's also boundaries. And it's all about, again, holding that line, especially for a man with the frame. You must hold the line if you want to be respected, in my opinion. You must hold the line. And it's definitely not for the weak. It's not an easy task to hold the line on certain things that you used to just let slide, let pass and all that shit. But I believe that's a part of being valued, of valuing yourself, number one, and teaching people how to treat you, teaching people how to value you, and remembering what it is that you bring. Yeah, remembering what you bring to a situation, understanding what your gift is. So, and when you believe that that's not valued, then you have to leave the table. I believe just by experience, healthy love is, again, just all about how you're treating yourself. Like if you're not going to tolerate a behavior that you wouldn't do to yourself from another person. And I think that's the biggest difference, the biggest key in growth, when you stop accepting certain behaviors from people outside of you. There's part of you that trusted people to love you, protect you, and all this shit. But we all have our own personal endeavors and things that we want to do. Roles that we have for other people in our lives, you know what I'm saying? I love the movie analogy. Everybody doesn't always match the script. Our scripts don't always match, man. Learning how to, like I said, first putting love into yourself. That way you're able to recognize when someone who doesn't love you by the way they treat you. You know what I'm saying? I think that's probably the best way to do it. You learn it from mistakes. Like learning healthy love is it's taking it's taking being not loved. You know what I'm saying? Like, you recognize it. So it's like welcoming all experiences, because they teach you what's beneficial for you and what's not beneficial for you. I'm grateful for every experience, man, that I've gone through in my life, in a sense of love for the person that told me they loved me and did, whatever painful shit. It wasn't about me, it was about them, what they were going through, their own insecurities. Anytime I've done the same, said I love you and done painful shit. It's just going through your own race in life. And I think that's what we're all doing. I think we're all just going through our own race, trying to navigate this shit to the best of our ability. Just looking for love. It's like coming home to the fact that you are love, right? Like, just you, by being human, that's just what you do. One of the gifts of being human is that you give love. It's the beauty. It's like animals, especially like the domesticated ones. They offer unconditional love, right? You get home from work, your dog, say for instance your dog, and obviously Don Miguel talks about this in The Mastery of Love, man. I thought it was a brilliant point. But like, when you come home from work, the dog has no idea what the fuck you went through. But when you get in the door, they are losing their shit to show you love, or tell you that they got you in the goddamn bathroom. One of the two, maybe both. But they just have this joy about seeing you, and just keep coming back to give you love. They can feel when you're off, and they try to nurture that. I mean, I think that's one way of learning healthy love, is while watching the fucking dog. Truth be told, I mean, as funny or crazy that may sound to some, but just watching how, a dog cares for its owner, its person, that it connects to. But, I mean, what do I know? That's just my perspective on shit. These are just thoughts that go through my mind when I think about love and other shit. But nevertheless, those are my thoughts on this topic, which also concludes this episode. So thank you for everybody who has made it this far to this episode. And if you have made it this far, do me a favor, just hit like on the whether it's YouTube or Facebook. That'll let me know that you made it this far. But I really do appreciate each and every one of you for watching these episodes. Weekly, bi-weekly, whenever you're able to get to it. It's not going anywhere. I'm not going anywhere. The material, at least, is not going anywhere. I may ascend, but the work lives on forever. That's the beauty of it. Knowledge. It's an encyclopedia of nothing but wisdom, knowledge, mistakes, accomplishments, whatever you want to call it. But yeah, just my way of showing gratitude. So I'm out. I really do appreciate you. Good night, kids. What was the biggest mistake in history? I believe the biggest mistake in history was taking fathers out of the home, right? Especially in Black communities, be it from slavery, be it from, the feminist laws that came out in the 70s. But taking fathers out of the home certainly did a number on our society in many ways, man. That lack of masculine presence in the home and not teaching us to manage our emotions has definitely shown in recent years, like the last 30 to 40 years, as far as like how we conduct ourselves out in public, how we conduct ourselves with each other. And truly, like, if we had that presence of a man in the home with a sound mind that led and help calm and teach everybody in the home how to manage their emotions, I truly believe we would be in a better place than where we are right now. Very grateful for the life that we have. Don't get me wrong. Like, I love living in America. As to, that's all I know. I'm really able to compare it to anything. I'm sure it's been, plastered over the news about what it's like to live in other countries, but I'm very grateful to live in America. But I will say that as far as like our relationships and how we govern ourselves amongst each other, like learning what it's like to see a man lead, the one that can calm his emotions, the one that can be calm, the one that can be stoic, but not a brick, not doesn't make people, not able to have a good time and laugh at shit, but just being able to like manage a situation, calm ourselves, and teach our young boys how to do that, how to manage their emotions. Because what ends up happening, I believe, is like growing up without having that teaching of how to manage your emotions, you're going to attract the opposite. So like that young boy grows up and he attracts a woman who is used to leading, you know what I'm saying? And pretty much been like, she was like the mom for her family. So now she's going out to attract a boy from his family. And then there's your marriage where now you have this woman who has to take on this she's got to take on this mature role, and she is emotion. That is the storm. A woman is the storm, right? And then you take on this boy who is yet to learn how to manage his emotions. Now you have to manage his emotions while managing your own. And I don't believe it was ever designed to be that way. I truly believe the other way around. Like us as men learning how to manage our emotions, being able to take on a lot of physical challenge and also mental challenge, and then showing and then being that calm of the storm for our families, for our women, you know what I'm saying, if you're gay, for your men, whatever, you know what I mean? But being able to calm a situation, I think that's the essence of masculinity, and not taking shit personal. You know what I'm saying? Like being able to navigate a situation logically, and having the courage to just either set a boundary and also weather a storm at the same time. And I believe that's what the biggest mistake is, like removing fathers from the homes, removing fathers from a lot of things, because it created a society of women who felt the need to operate in their masculine. And I don't believe you were ever designed to do that. And then it created a society of men who felt comfortable enough operating in their feminine. And you can just tell that by our erratic behavior. Quick to fight, you know what I mean? Not knowing how to manage the situation. Fighting is the last resort, because adults discuss and children throw tantrums. You know what I'm saying? Don't get me wrong, it's about having boundaries, but calm mind. A calm mind makes better decisions than a chaotic one. And it's like learning how do you do that, right? How do you become calm when you've grown up with a chaotic mind? And it's like removing yourself from those surroundings and having the courage to do the homework on yourself. But in all honesty, I believe the biggest mistake in history was removing man from the home. So, with that being said, just let that linger. Maybe you agree, maybe you don't agree. It's just my thoughts on it. Peace.